California Representative Katie Hill has decided to step down. She is from Santa Clarita, California, and that is a traditionally red district that she flipped over to blue. Now, there were all sorts of allegations about her published on a conservative website, Red State, and they were relentless in attacking her. She's going through a bitter divorce, and there's some speculation that these accusations are coming from her soon-to-be ex-husband. However, there were salacious photos released of her. Again, the speculation is that her husband released it. And the accusations indicate that she had a relationship with a campaign staffer, which she has confessed to. But the second allegation she absolutely denies, and that is that she was having an inappropriate relationship with a current staffer as a congresswoman. So as a result, she's decided to step down, and we'll give you her statement in just a minute. But before I give you her statement, I just want to let you know that one of the influencing factors here is House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She tweeted, quote, "She has acknowledged errors in judgment that made her continued service as a member untenable. We must ensure a climate of integrity and dignity in the Congress and in all workplaces."
That means Pelosi pushed her out.
Exactly.
It wasn't the Republicans. The Republicans are the ones who did the hatchet job. It was Pelosi who buried her.
By the way, speaking of Republicans, an unlikely defender of Katie Hill's, Matt Gaetz, and here's what he tweeted. "This is just absurd. The only person who seems to have a gripe is Katie Hill's soon-to-be ex. Who among us would look perfect if every ex leaked every photo/text? Katie isn't being investigated by ethics or maligned because she hurt anyone. It is because she is different." And he's absolutely right about that. I mean, you're dealing with a conservative district. Conservatives and obviously her husband are salty about the fact that she became a congresswoman, a Democratic congresswoman representing that district. And then you have Nancy Pelosi pushing her out. It makes me sick to my stomach. She is so devastatingly weak, and I'm talking about Pelosi here, that she's like so worried about 2020 and rallying the troops against Trump that she's willing to push anyone aside that she sees as a liability.
So it's actually worse than that, because it looks like if Katie Hill is right on who released the picture, because she would know, she knows when the picture was taken and who took it, then Nancy Pelosi asked her to step down based on revenge porn. So what that does is empowers revenge porn. It empowers men to use that against women to take their power away. And if Nancy Pelosi aided and abetted that, it is gross, it's sick, and it is actually against the interests of all women. So Katie Hill talks about it. Even Matt Gaetz says, okay, so now every picture is now going to be judged, etc.
If you're a woman, because let's keep it real. If you're a man who has that kind of stuff out there, who cares? If you're a man who stole taxpayer money and spent it on your personal wants and needs like Duncan Hunter did, I mean, he's being investigated for that, but he refused to step down. He's still a lawmaker in the state of California.
And by the way, he used the illegal proceeds to have 5 different affairs, okay? But hey, Republicans never ever do that. But the minute any Democrat is in perceived trouble, whether they did something wrong or not, who's gonna throw them under the bus? Not the Republicans. It's Democratic leadership.
Yes.
You gotta step down. You know what they say, number one excuse, it's a distraction. So the Republicans smeared you and it became a distraction. So let's aid and abet their smear by ending your career.
Well, what about Nancy Pelosi? She's a hindrance. Right? She hindrance.
That's true. Her poll numbers suck. They run every campaign against you, Nancy Pelosi. Well, I guess you're a distraction. I think you should step down.
So
what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. But if you're a young woman, well, Nancy Pelosi is going to help the Republicans end you.
So with that said, and it's tough to watch these videos knowing what we know, but here is Katie Hill explaining why she's stepping down.
I made this decision so that my supporters, my family, my staff, and our community will no longer be subjected to the pain inflicted by my abusive husband and the brutality of hateful political operatives. This coordinated campaign carried out by the right-wing media and Republican opponents, enabling and perpetuating my husband's abuse by providing him a platform, is disgusting and unforgivable, and they will be held accountable. but I will not allow myself to be a distraction from the constitutional crisis we're faced with and the critical work of my colleagues. And so I have to take my personal fight outside the halls of Congress.
See, I told you, there's that word distraction. Why? Pelosi drilled it into her head. You're costing everyone else. My beloved conservative Democrats are gonna have problems in their district because of you. That's a winnable seat. We know it's winnable because she won it. She's the one who flipped it. Okay, red state smeared her. They smeared her. Look, if I don't know whether she had an affair with a staffer or not. If she did, that is a different ballgame. But no one has ever actually presented evidence of that sort. Right. She denies it 100%, and no one's shown any evidence that it's true. So what is true is she had an affair with a campaign staffer. Now you could say, hey, that's bad, but that is not covered by the House rules.
Yeah, because she's not in the House yet.
Yeah, so you could say, hey, she shouldn't have done that, etc., and you would say it about a man, and we could have that conversation. By the way, she's the other reason Matt Gaetz talked about her being different is because she's openly bisexual. And so apparently it was a threesome that involved her husband, and then her loathsome ex-husband then took that and weaponized it against her. And he gave it to the Republicans, the party of so-called family values. They're like, oh, you're gonna smear your ex-wife and you're gonna give me pictures that have nothing to do with the affair, nothing. And we're gonna pretend that it's related to a thing that no one has any evidence of, that she slept with a House staffer. Okay, let's do it. Let's smear her all over. Don't worry, Democratic leadership will help us. And they were right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's really sick it makes me sick to my stomach because remember, establishment Democrats, corporate Democrats like Nancy Pelosi are the very people who went after female voters who didn't want to vote for Hillary Clinton. They wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton based on policy, not based on gender. And so they would say, no, we need to have the first female president, you gotta support women, you gotta support women. You know, Madeleine Albright saying there's a special place in hell for women who don't support other women. Yeah, I agree in this context with Katie Hill. They should have supported Katie Hill, they should have stood up for her, but instead, this shows just how incredibly, devastatingly weak establishment Democrats like Nancy Pelosi really are.
Yeah, she wants to get credit for being the woman who stood up to Donald Trump. She's constantly talking about how she's the first female Speaker of the House. But when it comes to supporting other women, all of a sudden, missing in action. Instead, they find themselves under a bus. Fight back. Don't listen to Democratic leadership. Fight for all of us. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.